Okay, have you ever wondered why homes in San Francisco are selling for 10, 15, 20, 25% over asking? Here's kind of a surprise. We've got neighborhoods in San Francisco that I would say 70% of the homes sold, they were listed below their estimated market value. Kind of sounds counterintuitive, I know, but in a city like San Francisco where there's competition, there's money, and emotions definitely run high when you're trying to find a home and there's not a lot out there, pricing is everything. In this video, I'm going to walk through the exact pricing strategies that we use to create bidding wars and get my sellers the best possible results. By the way, I'm Gjevre and I'm a top realtor here in San Francisco, and I specialize in helping sellers get top dollar by knowing what buyers think, what will trigger competition, and how to position a home strategically. If you're thinking about selling or just planning ahead, reach out and let's talk. You know, I've worked with a lot of sellers that have been overwhelmed with pricing. And I get it, San Francisco is complicated, and it's hard to believe that some of these pricing strategies work. One block can change the value, timing, when a home comes on the market. All of these things matter. So we're going to break it down. I've got 8 strategies that we use, and we get incredible results. The first one is, I don't know, it's kind of obvious, but really know the micro market, not just the median. You can't use citywide averages. Even neighborhood-wise, data can be misleading. Bernal Heights has its own microclimates within Bernal Heights. There's the North Slope, the South Slope, Cortland Corridor, and they all perform really differently. Same for Noe, the Sunset, and South Beach. You need to dig into very recent comps for similar homes. Same layout, similar conditions, similar location. And then I kind of always ask, what do the buyers like and what do they dislike? Were there upgrades? Was the staging benefiting them or a detriment to them? This is why I preview homes every week, to try to understand why something sold for what it did. Algorithms can only tell you so much. That feeling when you walk into a home really can, and it sticks with you. Strategic underpricing. This is definitely the most misunderstood, or even you'll understand it, but when it comes to your home, it's really hard to go there. This strategic underpricing doesn't mean giving your house away. It creates urgency. If your home's worth 1.55, pricing it at 1.5 will attract more buyers. Pricing it at 1.45 will attract even more. Once they're there, they get an emotional attachment. And often it'll push that final sales price well above market. Buyers don't want to miss out. And when they see people in there, they see agents in there, they know how many offers are being written, they go all in. This only works when the market supports it for that home. And every home is so unique. So we always have a pre-market strategy, and sometimes we'll do some test pricing. Sometimes we might bring some agents in, but sometimes that underpricing gives you room to grow anyway. Okay, timing is everything. You gotta list with intention. Timing is crucial. We like to list on a Thursday. That's my ideal. Friday is decent too. That gives the weekend to tour. You're brand spanking new. Buyers get excited. Agents come and see it. Then the following Tuesday, we do a broker tour. And if we had enough people in, we might even accept offers that week on a Wednesday or Thursday. Typically today we'll want to do 2 weekends, but again, it really depends on the home. You want momentum. You want your open house to feel packed. You want to have an offer date that's going to create demand and get that FOMO happening, that fear of missing out from the buyers. Presentation. I mean, you've heard me say this 100 times, and it's probably because of my former career, but It goes hand in hand with the pricing. If you're going to list a home at 1.5 to get multiple offers, it needs to look like a 1.6. Fresh paint, thoughtful staging, clean landscaping, professional photographs and video. These are all non-negotiables in my opinion. Remember, buyers in San Francisco are paying a premium, right? And when they walk into a space, it needs to feel dialed in so that they can fall in love. And love equals offers. It's not that different than giving yourself a makeover. If you're a 6, dress yourself up like a 10, and you're gonna come in as an 8. Okay, you gotta know your buyer pool, right? So are you getting cash buyers, or are these buyers that are probably gonna get a loan? Different buyers have different budgets, expectations, timelines. If you price outside their comfort zone, you're gonna miss them. You know, it's weird, but I feel like tech-heavy neighborhoods, they like prices at round numbers, and it seems to attract more cash offers. It also signals that this is a starting point. In some areas where you're just trying to get people to stretch a little bit, you might be a little laser focused with your price, even if you're pricing under, just to signal that maybe this is the price that it's at. Sounds crazy, I know, but it does work. Okay, this next one, I call it using round numbers or not. And you got to use it to your advantage. Now this sounds crazy, I know, to most people. But if you do 1.495, when buyers are talking about it, they call it 1.4. They just erase that $95,000. I know you don't believe me, but they do it all the time. Okay, I'll bring it up again, FOMO. It's not just for social media. It also works in real estate. People have a fear of missing out. So we do a quick, short, kind of coming soon idea. Sometimes just a day. We do it with agents, and then we do it with buyers. And if you do it more than a day, we can't do the address. There's rules that we have, but we like to do a little bit beforehand. It gets people very excited. And then when we do hit the market, we come out very strong from all angles of marketing that we can. It gets people to the open house right away. You get an emotional response when you're at a busy open house. Let me tell you, they will love it more. People want what everybody else wants. I can't say enough how important that first weekend buzz is. Multiple offers are great. That is what we want. And the highest number is not always the winner. You gotta look at contingency. There's, 3 big ones. There's a loan and an appraisal, and then the inspection one, which is a big one. The financing, or is it all cash? How soon they're gonna put the deposit in. I mean, we look at every single thing. That buyer agent's reputation and the communication during the process is key. And we do communicate that with the sellers. And then how long will it take them to close? A $1.6 million offer with a long loan contingency is much riskier than a 1.575 cash offer that can close in 10 days. This is where your agent comes in to really help you compare all of the offers. Some are apples to oranges, some are Gala apples to Fuji apples, right? But you got to understand the net and the path to close. I really appreciate you being here. If you're thinking of selling your home in San Francisco, reach out to me directly. And if you need a great agent in your area, there's links in my description. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Gjevre, and until next time.